what is up? This is not an unbox video, but I am going to unbox the Logitech G PRO Superlight V2 and give you my first impression on the mouse. And then later in the video, we will cover the 7 of the main points that most people want to know about if you're deciding you're going to buy this mouse or not. Number 1, of course, is the shape and the size. Number 2 is the build quality. Number 3 is the coating. Number 4 is the buttons. Number 5 is the fit. Number 6 is performance. And number 7 is the value for money. I've never owned a G PRO Superlight, and that's because I don't agree with its pricing. However, I got this at a price that is unbeatable. It is the price that I advocate for, the $80 mark. I actually got this for $87. I hope I didn't get scammed, and we're about to find out if this will be recognized by the G-Hub software. So I'm not going to bore you with all the specs. You can find that out for yourself. You know, it's not very important to me, but let's just I suppose we need to plug this in, right? This thing, and we will know. Right under my desk, it's a bit tight fit, and I feel like I need to peel this off too, right? Is it on? Yes, it's device, it says device ready, but there's an inactive. Now it's blue. Yes, it's working and it's recognized. I got 51% battery life in this. Okay, so I know this is the real deal. I did not get scammed. Let me just give you my first impression before we jump into all the important issues that I wanted to cover: the shape, size, build quality, the coating, buttons, the feet, the performance, and the value for money. It feels really light. I'm not going to lie to you. I've never owned a G PRO Superlight. It feels like a 55-gram mouse. I really like the weight of it. People say the buttons are heavy. They don't feel heavy to me. If I'm being honest, my endgame gear is also some kind of optical buttons, and the endgame gear buttons feel even more firm than the G PRO Superlight. The G PRO Superlight feels super light, if I'm being honest. It is super light. I don't know what the fuss about the button is. They both work just great. I mean, these lights, these buttons, they require very little energy to actuate. So even if it's heavier, it wouldn't matter to me, you know what I mean? Now let's talk about the infamous side buttons. My first impression, yeah, not that great. It's true, it's not that great, but it's not that great compared to a Death Adder. It's not that great compared to a Glorious. Yeah, Glorious is better because it's got big fat buttons. Even the Ponage. Yeah, the Ponage is better. The endgame gear side buttons is better, but it's not bad. It's not like unplayable. It's not like terrible. I don't see what the fuss is about. Button actuations feel great. The scroll wheel feels a little bit tight. Yeah, it feels a lot of resistance. Clicking feels fine. It's very soft click. I mean, it's not like a click. It's just a little bump, and it feels like you need a little bit more energy to actuate it compared to that even though the end game gear makes more sound you need more sound to actuate it, but yeah, I don't feel any problem with the G PRO Superlight. The size feels really nice though. I really like the size. The only other MB mouse I have is the endgame gear, and the endgame gear is much lower on the fingers. This is much higher. This is much more like a in between an ergo and an MB. That's what I feel this is, and the size is really good. I thought the size was small, but it is not. It feels good in my hand. I'm going to enjoy this mouse. I already know it. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this mouse for 1 week, and then I'm gonna come back to you and we're gonna go over all these 7 points that I want to talk about, including the performance and value for money. The performance being I need to take it out on Kovacs for 1 week straight, and then we will find out if my Kovacs average scores improve, and we will know if this is the endgame mouse. Again, I'm not an advocate for $150 mice. I'm not even an advocate for $130 mice, but $87 any time of the day. This is a really good deal for $87. So we'll find out. And let's fast forward this video, and I will see you in the future. Bye-bye. Alright, I'm back after a week. Please don't laugh at my hand sleeve. I want to keep my mind open and test this out to see if it's better for my gaming experience. If you're enjoying this type of mouse videos, tomorrow I will be unboxing the new Lamzu Thorn, and next week I will have the ability to review the new mouse pad from ESP Tiger. It's called the Tang Dao, and it's got the new colorways. I think there's orange, there's blue, and there's a red, which is pretty interesting. It'll be here next week, and then we will talk a little bit about that when the time comes. But first, let's continue jumping into the G PRO Superlight V2. I've had it for a week now. I've done enough testing on it to come to a definitive conclusion. Let's go right ahead and talk about the battery life. If you look at it, I have 71% battery life still. This is 1 week of usage. Well, I have been swapping my mouses around. I have been basically using the Dragonfly a lot of the times, as well as this one. But I would say I've been using the G PRO probably 70-80% of the time over the Dragonfly, but still 71% battery life remaining after 1 week is pretty awesome. I don't think you can fault Logitech for that. It is pretty excellent battery life in my opinion. I am running it in 2000 Hz polling rate, so higher polling rate supposedly runs the battery down quicker, but in this case it's still holding up pretty strong. Now we'll talk about the shape and size. I told you I'm really fond of this shape. I'm really fond of this size. It feels really good in my hand. It fills up my hand. It feels like it's a medium to bigger size mouse, and I'm really happy with the shape and size of it. The build quality, I can't fault it. There's no creaking, there's nothing wrong with it. Everything works fine. The coating, this is only the only two mouses that I use without a coating. The Glorious Model D has an amazing coating. Now I have a really sweaty greasy hands. You can see the sweat building up on my fingertips just doing nothing. So I have really greasy, sweaty palms, and every mouse I have has got to have minimum of at least side grips, but I do not need grips on the Glorious. I do not need grips on the G PRO Superlight. Even though it does leave a little bit of sweat residue sometimes on the buttons and the sides, but you can easily wipe them off. I suppose if there's a black spot, a dark spot, that will happen over time. Maybe I'll use some kind of wipe to get rid of it. I don't think it's going to be a problem. The coating is absolutely fabulous. I like it very much. The buttons, we've gone through this. I have no problem with the mouse 1, mouse 2 optical switches. They are actually lighter than my endgame gear OP XM2WE, and these are actually lighter than that. It feels very light. Yes, it might be heavier than your regular mechanical switches, but not by much. You know what I mean? You don't need any strength to actuate these buttons. So I don't know what the fuss is. It is just it's a non-starter topic for me if you want to talk about mouse 1 and mouse 2 buttons. The mouse 4 and 5 buttons, however, my first impression, I felt the Glorious had better side buttons. I felt that these were better. I felt my old Death Adder had better actuation buttons on the side buttons, and I even felt the Honage had better side buttons than this. Now 1 week later, how do I feel? I feel the G PRO Superlight has better buttons. Yes, initially I thought, yeah, people are right. It's not as good as other mouses. But after using the G PRO Superlight for a week, I get it now. I understand why they supposedly have not changed it since the old G PRO Superlight. I understand now. If I had to make an analogy, I would say that these side buttons are different from other mouse buttons that we use that are clicky and sharp. These are like my mother's kitchen cabinets with the soft close. That's how I would describe it. It feels like the side buttons have a soft close mechanism like you would on a premium kitchen cabinet, or in your closets you have these kind of cupboards that open and close that have these soft closing mechanism. That's what it reminds me of. And after using it for a week, I feel like these side buttons are actually what I prefer over the ones that I'm really used to, really snappy, really sharp, really quick. I prefer these. They're still totally spammable. They're still very fast. I don't see any problem with it, and I actually prefer it over what I thought I preferred before. Remember, this is a new user experience. I've never owned a G PRO Superlight, so this is new to me, and I like it, and I get it why they didn't change it up. Now the mouse feet, we'll talk about the mouse feet. I don't know what the fuss is. Again, a lot of people have been complaining that these aren't the greatest. I've had them for a week. I understand when they were new, they weren't as quick, and I can feel like they're picking up speed over the week. I suppose over time they're going to be even quicker, but I have no problem with them on the Artisan Hayate Otsu. It feels really nice. In fact, I will do a little bit of comparison with other mouse pads because I did try them out on other mouse pads. The other mouse pad I tried them on is this one, which is my second favorite mouse pad. That is why it is underneath the Hayate Otsu. This is the Odin Infinity. It is pretty quick. I feel it's faster than the Hayate Otsu. Actually, it is much faster than the Hayate Otsu. It has a textured surface, a little bit sandpaperish. I would say maybe 200 grit sandpaper. It doesn't, it doesn't eat up your skin or anything. But yeah, it feels great. I feel like it works fine. This was or still is my second favorite mousepad. Let me show you another mousepad that I did try it on. This is a ESP Tiger Grandmaster Ling, and this one is a Artisan Raiden clone. It has a very smooth surface. It is a fast mousepad with a very smooth surface, and the G PRO Superlight feels excellent on it. No problems at all. No problems handling it. Another mousepad that I want to show you is this one. This is the Xtrify. This Xtrify is a slow mousepad. This is much like when I say slow, I'm talking about normal speed. This is basically an Artisan Zero, but it has a different surface from the Artisan Zero. It has kind of like a fuzzy top, very unique feeling, but this is by no means a fast mousepad. This is a control mousepad, and I would say it's slow, but most people would say this is a normal speed mousepad, but really nice feeling. This mousepad, I really want to main this mousepad because it feels really nice. Even though it's not fast, I like fast, but this feels so nice. It feels so different from other mousepads. And the last mousepad I want to share with you is a mousepad that a lot of people would have, because this is the entry level, one of the cheapest mousepads there is. This is the IKEA Lens Polari, and yeah, this is not a fast mousepad, but it is not super slow either. This is, you know, normal speed, and it feels really great. I have no problem with this mouse feet, which is some kind of PTFE, and on most mousepad surfaces, as I've demonstrated to you, it works fine and it feels fine. I got no issues with it. Now let's talk about the performance. The last thing that I really want to show you is this is the Kovacs scores that I wanted to share with you. This is, of course, one wall, 6 targets, basically 6 very small targets. You have to hit your targets as quickly as possible, under 1 minute, and I have the results for you. This is how the G PRO Superlight did over all this time versus other mouses and other mouse pads. Now, in my opinion, the best combination or the best results I got was with the Hayate Otsu mouse pad, and the XM2WE is what I feel the best performance I had. Now, I was experimenting the XM2WE over a period of time, but I feel like this was my favorite combination. But if you look at the results, the actual truth is the Ponage has the best results with the Otsu pad. And the G PRO Superlight, I only did it for 7 days, so I can't have a 100% for sure that this is the best combination or this is the best result I can get from the G PRO Superlight version 2, but it is somewhere in the range of how I normally perform. I do expect that after some time, once the skates wear in and it becomes smoother or it feels better, I do believe the results will get better with this mouse. That's what I feel. It's only been 7 days, so I can't be sure. This is the next one. It's called One Wall 6 targets. These are fatter targets, bigger targets. Same concept. You try to get as many targets as possible over 1 minute. And the GPX Superlight, as you can see, not the best score, but certainly not the worst. I am within the bandwidth of my best scores over 5 mouses and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mouse pads. The IKEA mousepad, obviously the worst performing. The best mousepad is definitely the Artisan Hayate Otsu, and yeah, I think it will get better over time as the mouse skates wear. This is fast strafing. This is like tracking your targets. While they are dodging left and right, they are strafing left and right as quickly as possible, and this is the result. Again, I'm getting a middle of the park result over 7 days, so I wouldn't say it's the best result, but definitely better result than I got with the Ponage. As you can see, the Ponage didn't do really well because I was swapping out skates. I had the corner skates and then I had the dot skates. Even the dot skates were only marginally better than the corner skates. I think, in my opinion, the XM2WE with the Otsu had the best results. As you can see, I had 1-2 days that weren't really good, but the rest of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days were pretty good on the XM2WE. But I do feel that the G PRO Superlight version 2 will get better over time, but let's see. I will do a 1 month later review, and we will check this again. Long strafe is like tracking your target while it is strafing around over, you know, a long target. But this is the result. I got over 7 days. It was pretty not bad. Today, the last day, was one of my lowest scores. I mean, when I say lowest scores, not lowest scores ever, but lowest scores since I switched back to the Hayate Otsu mousepad. And even with the ponage, with the corner skates and with the dots, I feel like the GPX2, again, not the best results, but definitely among the best results, not the absolute best. I feel it will go better. It will get better over time. The next scenario here is the Kovacs Sandbox intro scenario, and that's the name of the scenario, and this is the result. It looks like I'm hanging in there with my best results, which was achieved with the ponage. Most of the ponage results were better than the G PRO Superlight, but I was experimenting with the corner skates here and with the dot skates here on the right. And the G PRO Superlight, the first 7 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, sorry, it's not bad. I think it will improve over time. Again, over 7 days, not enough time for me to really track the scores and see tangible results, but I believe over a month you're going to see this improve if I stick to it. The next scenario, or this is the last scenario, the 5th scenario. So these are the 5 scenarios. I feel the GPX2 was as good as my best results. Not the best ever, but the first 6-7 days itself, it's hanging in there with the best results, so I'm pretty happy with that. The last thing I want to talk about is value for money. Is it worth 150, 130, 139 or 150? No, it is not. Is it worth the $87 that I paid for it? 100%. $87. This is a smoking good deal. I don't know if you can get $87 deals where you come from, but I got it where I come from, and for $87, pretty smoking hot deal. If you're paying $150 for this, I'm not too sure it's worth $150. If I'm being honest, if I was going to pay $150, I'd better get one of these, a glorious Model D, or if you like an MB mouse, get the glorious Model O, which is the older model than the latest one, which is the Model D Pro. This is the older model. This is just as good as the G PRO Superlight. This is only $80, and this is totally worth the $80, and it has RGB. Who doesn't like RGB? I mean, I don't use the RGB, but if I have it, I'm going to turn it on. I only have it at, right now it's at 10%, so it doesn't eat up the battery at all. And for $80, I think, you know, if you got two choices for $80, I would pick this one for $80. But if you can't get this for $80, I'd say get a glorious Model D or Model O. Hope you enjoyed this video, and see you tomorrow if you want to look at the Lamzu phone. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.